Why don't we always see things clearly? Have you ever wondered why two people can look at the same situation and interpret it completely differently? The way we see the world isn't always as logical as we might think. Our brains rely on shortcuts to process information quickly, but these shortcuts can lead to cognitive biases, systematic errors in thinking that influence how we perceive the world around us. Understanding cognitive biases is an essential part of critical thinking, especially in a world filled with misinformation and conflicting narratives. Let's explore what cognitive biases are, how they shape our perceptions, and what we can do to think more clearly. What are cognitive biases? Cognitive biases are like filters in your brain that shape how you interpret information. They are mental shortcuts that help you make decisions quickly, but sometimes they lead you to inaccurate conclusions. These biases are influenced by your past experiences, emotions, and the information available to you. Imagine this: you read a headline that aligns with what you already believe. You're more likely to trust it without questioning it, even if it's false. That's a cognitive bias at work. Common cognitive biases that shape our perceptions. Confirmation bias, believing what you want to be true. What it is: the tendency to seek out and believe information that confirms what you already think, while ignoring evidence that contradicts it. You believe that social media is harmful, so you only read articles that highlight its negative effects and ignore studies showing its benefits. Confirmation bias can make you less open to new ideas and more likely to spread misinformation. Anchoring bias, the first impression sticks. What it is: the tendency to rely too heavily on the first piece of information you encounter, the anchor, when making decisions. A product is advertised as 50% off a high price. You perceive it as a great deal, even if the discounted price is still expensive. Anchoring bias can affect your judgment, making you stick to initial impressions instead of exploring all the facts. Availability heuristic, what comes to mind seems true. What it is: the tendency to overestimate the importance of information that comes to mind easily because it's recent or dramatic. After hearing about a plane crash, you might think air travel is unsafe, even though statistics show it's one of the safest modes of transport. This bias can skew your perception of risks and priorities. Bandwagon effect, following the crowd. What it is: the tendency to adopt a belief or behavior because many others are doing it. You see a viral trend on TikTok and participate in it, even if you don't fully understand it. The bandwagon effect can spread misinformation rapidly and discourage independent thinking. How cognitive biases shape perceptions. Cognitive biases influence the way we interpret information, interact with others, and make decisions. They can reinforce stereotypes. Confirmation bias can make you focus only on examples that fit a stereotype, ignoring evidence to the contrary. Spread misinformation. Availability heuristic and bandwagon effects make it easy for false information to go viral. Distort decision-making. Anchoring bias can lead you to make choices based on incomplete or misleading data. How to overcome cognitive biases. Pause before reacting. When you encounter information that triggers a strong emotional response, take a moment to think critically before forming an opinion. Seek diverse perspectives. Actively look for information that challenges your beliefs. This helps you see a fuller picture and reduce confirmation bias. Use fact-checking tools. Platforms like Snopes or factcheck.org can help verify claims before you accept them as true. Ask questions. Who created this information, and why? Is there evidence to support it? Could my own biases be influencing how I perceive this? Cognitive biases are a natural part of how our brains work, but they can cloud our judgment and shape our perceptions in ways we don't always realize. By understanding these biases and learning how to spot them, you can make better decisions, think more critically, and see the world with greater clarity. Remember, the key to overcoming bias is curiosity. Keep asking questions and seeking diverse perspectives.